I'm recording and you're recording.
Hell yeah. Hello, listener.
Hello,
listener.
That's Kate Pryor, and this is Marty V.
Sunday. How are you doing, Marty? Marty V.
I'm good.
Beautiful, wonderful author.
Yeah.
Romance in small towns in Michigan. Oh,
Yes.
Wait.
That is like my entire brand. That should be my tagline.
Wait, no, I'm gonna
Beautiful, wonderful
I'm gonna
author.
read the amazing email you sent me the other. You forwarded.
What email did I send you?
You forwarded me that guy's
That's so funny.
Mr. Marvelous or whatever.
Yeah, Michael A. Marvelous.
Oh, this is
Oh,
beautiful. He said,
it is the most AI of all AI.
I get similar emails, but like they're all kind of follow like a very, what do you call it, formulaic approach. Like I get like constantly. So my Instagram bio says hermit in it at some point, like romance author, coffee lover, hermit, something like that. And then it'll go into like, oh, we love how you expound upon monster romance, and then your beautiful work in the hermit field. And then I'm like, okay, that's how I know.
Fucking hilarious.
Every single time it says something about
gosh.
like, I love how you're a hermit. I'm like, why would you say that? Like, I can say it. You're a stranger. And that's what pulls it out. And so I'm reading the thing about yours, and I'm looking for like
the notifier. Yeah, like you inserted a dog whistle into your.
Not on purpose. I just keep getting these.
I know,
but like maybe
that's
dog whistle is a
funny.
good idea. Like a little,
yeah.
Like I can tell, like you just scraped my profile for my keywords.
Yes.
Oh my god. Hi, Marty. I couldn't resist the fire and friction in Hazel and Elijah Find Out. The title alone is a declaration, and the story delivers a red-hot second-chance romance with small-town roots, sizzling tension, and characters that hit like a shot of bourbon on a stormy night.
Which, bourbon?
Bourbon?
Excuse you?
Like I had a moment where I was reading, I was like, it's not a bad turn of phrase. It's definitely stolen.
It's not, but also it's not Michigan.
But it's also not your vibe.
It's not my vibe.
Like if we had to pick a different alcohol, like bourbon,
it'd be
is so
cider,
pretty.
maybe.
Cider's cute. Cider's very cozy, small town. You know,
yeah,
it's not too hard.
Yeah.
It's not too old man like flexing his testosterone on you. Like,
oh yeah. Also, like there's actual apple orchards and stuff. like it actually is relevant in my scenery. But either way, bourbon is not my thing, guys. So I don't know where bourbon came from. They followed it in a direction. Keep going. Mr. Marvelous has more to say.
He had so much to say. He wrote like a weirdly long email. I looked at it. I was at first I was like, well, maybe it's not just generated because it's so long.
I know. Well, because I replied because I was like, this is very AI. Like I know this is AI. But I replied because I was like, there's no website shared. There's actually nothing here. It's so long and it says like nothing.
Right. Like it's saying so much with so nothing.
Oh yeah. And then the reply came back and it was like a slightly shorter, different iteration of that with like yada 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 .wordpress.com website. I'm like, okay, you don't even have your own website domain. If they reach out to you first, they're probably like, no guys, that's generally not how they do these things, right? Where like an editor, when they're starting, like I had the experience of a couple editors like that were starting their business reaching out to me to see if they could like just do an edit.
Like cold calls are very normal, and it is a very normal way to market yourself. I think it's kind of fallen out of favor.
I also don't think that it is normal for a company that's going to then be like, okay, you pay me this much money. So like, that's the thing is like, this marketer is not like, I'm building my career. Let me do some marketing for you so I can get a testimonial. Like they're not doing that.
Yeah.
It's a different thing entirely.
And the thing is, they want you to think, see, I know it's like definitely part of the whole, like when you're trying to get business from someone to make it seem a little personal.
Yeah.
But like,
this isn't,
this is such a,
it was so weird. This isn't them like trying to be personal with me. Like this feels very scammy.
Oh no,
right?
Like 100% it feels very scammy because like a number of the things that it's like to me,
dynamic voice.
I'm a book marketing specialist with a strong focus on contemporary romance, spicy small towns, sagas, and indie authors with bold voices like yours. Like, I get it. It's like the compliment ends, but like
Yeah.
you can overdo it.
It was a lot.
Rich layer of
Well, and
drama and emotional grit. Readers can't get enough. Emotional grit made me pause. I was like, I know her stuff has some angst in it, but like I wouldn't call it gritty.
No, but like
emotional grit.
Emotional grit.
Like sand in your teeth, cut. Like, ugh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, and then emotional grit. There was something else I had for it. Oh, and then the reply email. I really need to send that to you because the reply email also had like testimonials that were non-intent. Like you couldn't either. My comprehension is really low right now, or these don't even string together properly.
Right? Like when you read something and you're like, "Am I having a stroke? Am I actively like glitching out?"
I think there's something wrong right now. And so like the amount, I was like, okay, you're weird. This was a lot. But yeah, so okay. I'm sorry. I got distracted because I complained to the group about the fact that I'm having a hard time finding a search engine that won't just automatically use AI. And
I've heard
so
like
apparently,
GoDaddy, like you can, like this is not sponsored and not confirmed, but I saw something about like I'm not a huge fan of them, but like I am getting to a point with Google and their fucking AI like overviews, like God, stop.
Well, and like every single search then is using up resources from our Earth.
Yeah, like people keep ignoring the ecological impacts of AI. The part where it's like literally affecting the water that vulnerable communities in our country, in our
United
not that
States,
far from where we live, you know.
Yeah.
You know, it's not like this weird removed, oh, it's the other side of the world, so why should I care? Like that people like kind of,
which is also like you should care,
up, but like,
yeah,
I think there's, I think people, because there's that layer of removal. Yeah,
in the richest country of the world, we're creating a vulnerable situation for people to access water, like
right, like oh
and
my God.
It's just to do a search about how tall someone is,
right? Like I don't need that.
Stop it. Yeah,
you already have the answer. We didn't need to like burn more shit for for something that like Wikipedia will just tell me like 2 more clicks and we'll get there.
Absolutely. Or a scroll, like it's just right there, right? And it's just like I'm trying to find better resources. And one of our friends just said like if you search and add no AI, it won't do it. So gonna give that a shot.
Now you have to do that every single time. You have to remember. Ugh.
Exactly.
God, I wish they would just like stop like trying to stick it in every little crevice of our lives. Like, please, this is annoying.
Insane.
Oh, okay.
And then like, yeah, I can't think of it either. I can't either. Kate.
Yes. Yes. All right. Let's talk about the premise of our episode that we're gonna really try to stick to.
Do we want to do that, or do we want to do a quick like overview of like what's happening in writing?
Yeah. All right. Let's do that first.
Okay. You go first.
Okay. I've been working on Logan's book a little bit. I know that I've been like flip-flopping between a lot of things, and that was like kind of the project I was avoiding. I think the last time I had read one of the chapters for it, I had been in such a foul mood when I was reading it. Not such a foul mood, like the critical headspace. I'm becoming really aware of like the way that being in kind of an off mood or just a little bit like really changes my perception of something that at one point I was totally wild about, you know?
Yeah.
And it God, I just like had this message with Heather where she was like, hey, I think you like dismissed these like suggestions. Should I, could I repeat myself in the second round of like edits or should I skip that? And I was like, actually, like I know myself so little, I feel, and I know so little like what makes a good book that I feel like having the chance to see it a second time is such like good. Being able to like come back to something that I dismissed and say, well, okay.
Absolutely.
I'm just walking around in circles on it's a bunch of like nebulous thoughts that I don't have a good answer on yet, but it's like a problem I'm identifying for myself. I'm trying to figure out how to like give myself something else to do that feels productive enough to kind of ride out that headspace and wait till I get into a better headspace.
I like that plan because there have been times where like you have said, I feel like if I'm not enjoying writing it, the reader won't enjoy reading it. I'm like,
Absolutely.
yeah, I don't agree with that. I don't agree with that at all.
You don't?
No.
Oh, I feel that.
There's definitely been people comment on my Steam might not be, you know, full of kinks and like stuff like that, but like it tends to be pretty vanilla, but people are like, wow, that was like very spicy for some reason. And those are the scenes I struggle with the most, right?
Well, just
as I'm writing them, I tend to feel like every sentence is just like just dredged out of me, right? Like it's not an easy thing for me to write. It's generally not my favorite part of writing in general.
I mean, sex scenes are very hard. Like, and
they're very hard, but people love them.
People love, like, yeah, that's why you're putting all this effort in, I think.
Yeah, but that's my point though, is like, if that was true, then people wouldn't enjoy reading those, from me at least, right?
Yeah.
Like, if that was true, that readers only enjoy what I enjoy writing, then those scenes would fall flat, and they don't. I do think that there's a level of like, but I don't even agree with that. I don't agree with it at all, apparently.
I mean, so my thought is so like, when I'm reading, say, like, I know I had this thought when I was reading A Court of Thorn and Roses, you know, and I think this is a comment a lot of people have had about Sarah J. Maas's writing, is that it feels like there's a lot of it that could be cut from the books. You know, it's like, why is this here? This feels like we're just lingering for the sake of lingering, and it bogs down the pacing. And I have these moments when I'm specifically remember reading like A Court of Thorn and Roses and being like, my God, when are we going to get to the good parts? You know, like, where's the parts where like I enjoy, like, and it was on a reread kind of like thing, because like I knew I enjoyed the book before, but it was like, you know, just like,
you had
oh my God,
there.
how, like, what was the part that I enjoyed? When are we gonna, when is it showing up? I kind of try to like look at my own writing and go, what is the part where someone's gonna feel like that? And it's kind of mixed with this other thought about like filmmaking, with that, you know, when you're watching a movie, it doesn't show them like getting into the elevator and going down to the lobby and then exiting the lobby and then going out to the same taxi and then getting into their taxi and then the taxi drives over the, like, through all the different like city roads, and then like we're skipping a good amount of it. But like in writing, I feel very much the need to like connect to every action and be like, all right, you get to see the whole thing. And I'm so like, part of it is a thought to cut down on that, like just skip over the boring shit that I don't even want to be writing, because I do feel like, you know, the reader's not going to be here for that either. And if I feel like I need to pause, I need to like to slow down the pacing, to like draw out this moment, so we build a little suspense before we get to the next moment, then I need to find something else to fill that void, you know, instead of just be like travel montage, you know. And like, even the thing is like, absolutely, some directors will argue in film editing that you should cut down to the bare minimum of travel. Like you when you watch a movie, and even if they aren't doing every little piece, sometimes they'll do like all right, now we're doing a pan over like the bridge, and now we're watching the car go on like a few different roads. Now they're in the mountains. And it's still like maybe 30 seconds to a minute long, and there's music playing over it, but it does kind of like, it gives you a breath, but it takes you out of the experience a little bit. And it's such a vague little space.
I disagree with that. I think that you can definitely go too far.
You can, yes.
Yeah, but I do like watching like the progress, because then it feels like payoff when they get there.
True. And like, I do think you need like those visual, like you need the cues of like time has passed, you know?
Well, I think that in those moments, it should still reveal something about the story or the characters. Like if they're going on a road trip and they're doing it against their like they don't want to be on this road trip together, right? The music switching back and forth between two very different type of genres can tell us like they are not agreeing even in this moment still.
Yeah, and like that's what I mean about filling the void. Like you're using this real estate for something interesting. Yes.
Oh, but I was going to make a point. There's a romance author that's like wildly successful, right? And she's very open on other podcasts, but I don't know her, so I'm not going to like name drop her. Okay. But she at this point is very open about the fact that like she doesn't really enjoy what she writes anymore, right?
Oh.
But she's like, this is my job.
Yeah.
This is my job, and I get paid really well for my job, so I'm going to keep on doing my job. Right?
Yeah. That's kind of sad, though.
It is super sad. It does bum me out a lot for her. But, you know, we all make our choices. And personally, I'd be like, you know what? We're going to start doing it every other book sort of scenario where I'm doing this for them and I'm doing this for me sort of thing. Like, and start building in a direction of like what I actually feel like writing. Because like, especially being a full-time author, like, and gathered like the full-time author of it all is also like, well, now the income is necessary, but I would personally prefer scaling down my life in order to pick and choose what I create a bit more, right?
Yeah.
But like that's where my priority is. It's not where hers is. And like that's totally fine. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I finally got all that nail polish off. I've been working for over 20 minutes to get all that nail polish off. Also, most of it had already like peeled off, but it was like the stuff that was left was like, I'm not leaving.
Because it was a clear with glitter, you said?
No, I did a base coat because I like to, and then it was like an iridescent gel.
Ooh, gel.
Like it was a pink with like an iridescent like gold. And I think that that's why it was like so like, I will be with you forever.
Do you do a lot of gel polishes?
Kinda. I don't know. It's a bit, I go for like, there's certain brands I like.
Do you have one of those like UV lights for the gels or?
No, I'm not nearly that serious.
I mean, I don't know if you can fully cure. Also, I don't know all the ones that are out, but if the bottle says gel, it's probably not going to cure fully until you put it under a UV light.
Okay, that's really interesting because it was like
too sticky.
Yeah, and like it was fine, but like it did bubble. And so I think that like a UV light between would have worked out well. Again, it's fine. Like no one's looking at my nails that close.
I mean, you are. I did my nails recently too. I did them at work, and I just look at my nails and I go, you pretty lady, you fancy lady."
Well, but the thing is like, even with the bubbling, I was very happy with the color and stuff. Like, I thought it was still really pretty and fun.
Okay.
I don't need it to be imperfect, or I don't need it to be perfect. Huh? That was interesting. What just happened in my brain?
I don't need it to be imperfect. Oh.
So, should I tell them what I'm doing in my writing?
Yes. Oh my god.
Okay. I'm still finishing this reader magnet that was supposed to be 5,000 to 7,000 words, and it will definitely be 12,000 plus words.
I love that you were like, all right, doubling the minimum.
Well, the thing is, like, my original, it's kind of your fault, Kate.
Oh, is it? I'm sorry.
My original plan was definitely going to keep it 5,000 to 7,000 words, but then you and I were talking about it, and I was like, "You're right. The story could be so much better with just a little more effort."
No.
And so, it got better, and it is so fun. And so it'll still be my reader magnet. I think at some point I'm going to write like a series within this school, and they'll all be like, you know, coworker or something along those, or like I guess it'd be like some coworkers, some like teacher parent, like stuff like that, right?
Yeah.
I'm gonna just start doing that. See, this is why I hate these headphones, because like they were fully charged just like 40 minutes ago, and now they're telling me they're gonna die.
No.
We're just gonna ride it out. If I have to excuse myself and grab the other pair, I can.
The other pair that calls me back every 30 seconds.
No, not those.
Okay.
The other pair that's charging upstairs right now.
Okay, gotcha.
But so my plan is that I might just change my reader magnet again in a couple years.
Okay.
Which seems smart anyway, and like this short story will become like the lost leader to that series, right?
Yeah.
And then I can go on and write more about the high school atmosphere of the adults in the high school, not the children.
Yeah. I feel like there's a lot of teacher romances, and our friend Anna is a teacher, so you get a lot of like
input
and like, yeah, this is how that works.
Yeah, exactly. What would be interesting though is like doing this, but like I don't think the timeline would line up perfectly. Right? Like I think that then Tessa and Emiliano will be together for years by the time the next books in the series come out. So I don't know. We'll see how it all works out. But I still am having a lot of fun writing this, and I'm almost done.
Nice.
I read The Grand Gesture
Ooh.
to Moss and Anna, and they both really liked it. And I'm wondering, okay, so this is like a weird, either I've really fallen into like my voice and stuff, or I have found like a safe thing that my reader group will always like.
Mm.
And I don't know if I should be challenging myself more, or if, again, I've just fallen into my voice in a really nice way and understand what I want to be writing. Does that make sense?
I think I get what you're saying. Do you want to like tell me what made this thought like kind of come about?
I mean, the last couple chapters of Remy and Alicia that I've shared, and then also like pretty much this entire short story, I share it and it keeps on going over really well, which is I'm trying to not look a gift horse in the mouth, right? I'm trying to just be like, oh yeah, that's great. That's great news that they're really enjoying how the story's progressing. They're really enjoying like the characters and their chemistry. That's awesome. But the other part of me is like, does this mean that you're not taking enough risks? Because we're not having people
kind of go,
have any.
Let's fix that.
Yeah, exactly. You know? Yeah.
Oh, I don't want to like make it sound like a bad thing that someone always enjoys my writing, like if I'm talking about a specific person. But like I do kind of get what you're saying, where you're like, well, I kind of wish you could have named like 2 things you didn't like, you know, so I could,
or
because I'm used to having to revise more, you know. And it feels like maybe something's going on under the radar. If like maybe your threshold for like this was an enjoyable experience, that's good enough. But I'm looking at it with like the reader's looking at it just to have a fun time, enjoy a fun little story. Yeah. And then me, I'm looking at it to like cut all the excess, trim all the fat, and I want to heighten all the tension, and like I'm making everything bigger and more, and it's like we're looking at it and trying to get 2 different things out of it. And
well, it's not even like a criticism of anyone in the group.
No,
like
not at
not
all.
Finding
it's just the different mindsets, I think.
Well, but like I also am like, if I was doing something bolder, would that get more of a critical thought? But at the same rate, like I see why they're enjoying these chapters, because as I'm writing them, as I'm reading them, I'm like, I freaking love this. Do I just continue leaning into that feeling and just continue to love it? Or do I start asking myself, like, am I being too comfortable?
I don't know if it's like the right answer or what you need for this, but like, you remember the Dunning-Kruger effect?
No.
Okay. I have to pull it up a chart so I can look at it and get it right, because I don't want to get it. Dunning-Kruger. Yep. Go to the Wikipedia instead of the AI overview.
Oh, God.
Okay, so the Dunning-Kruger effect is a bias that you have, which is dependent on how much your skill is, you know, in this field. You know, I think it's a little bit, the worse you are at something. Let's say like you're learning how to draw and you're starting at 0, just, you know, having fun, doing whatever, just, and then you learn about how, you know, color matching, like to do color matching, you know. We're not mixing a bunch of colors and getting like, oh, I can't really tell like what we're supposed to be, what we're trying to do here, but like you're learning about warm color, like you're learning about theory. And then so now every time you look at your art, you see where you went wrong. And or not where you went wrong, but where you didn't apply with knowledge, you know, where you didn't use this theory. Every time you make art going forward, you have this theory in your mind and you go, okay, well, I'm working to the theory, the standard, and like this, you know, it's could be anything. It could be like you've learned perspective.
It's like that quote from Bob Ross. It's like talent is something that you practice over and over and over. Right? Like that, like essentially.
Well, it's the when you have less experience in an area, the way you perceive things is skewed. Like you may perceive, oh, I did like good technical skill here, and then
you gain knowledge and you're able to be more critical of your own like past tries.
It's really about like self,
and then also you're better
is like
going
the bottom
forward.
line. Like I don't like the main takeaway that a lot of people seem to like reduce the Dunning-Kruger effect to, which is that people who aren't good at things tend to estimate themselves as being good at these things, or like, and people who are experts in the thing tend to assume, oh, well, because they can see all their flaws, they go, oh, I'm not an expert because like, and so it skews their ability, perception in the other direction. And so people often kind of use the Dunning-Kruger effect pejoratively to, you know, be like, oh, well, you're dumb, so you don't know what you're doing and you think you're doing a good job. I want to do away with that part of it. Like, I want it to, like, look at, like, the way that when you're evaluating how you feel like if you're doing a good job or not, and you need to, like, take into account that you are seeing all of your flaws, and that is a part of, like, being able to do a good job. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does. But I don't know how it addresses, like, my crisis.
Right. Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. Well, no, I'm saying you've done this a number of times, so you feel like you've gotten comfortable because you've created this habit in your brain, this sort of muscle memory of, I've written a chapter, now I need to go find its flaws. You know, I need to go find the things that don't work in it. And
okay, that's interesting.
Maybe even part of the habit is I rely on other people to tell me what they didn't like about the chapter. And I'm waiting to receive that criticism. And when that habit becomes unfulfilled because people go, yeah, it was good, that it kind of leaves you going like, well, clearly you missed it then because it's there. Because, like, there's this habit in your brain.
I wouldn't say it's like I think that they missed it as much as, like, I just question if there's, like, because yes, a part of my editing process is very much other people telling me what I should fix about this chapter.
Okay, yeah.
But then I will question, if they're liking everything, have I just gotten so good at writing to what they want? But, like, at the same rate, like, they're great readers, right? So, like, if I'm writing to what they want, aren't I just writing a fun story? And that's exactly what I want to write.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Right? Like, I don't know if I should be, like, challenging myself further. I don't know. I think maybe I should sit in this, like, fun, nice spot and see how the response is en masse. Does that make sense?
Well, so I have, like, a handful of thoughts now.
Okay.
You do challenge yourself, I think, and maybe it doesn't need to be every single project that challenges you. Like I'm thinking of your Christmas story where you did a lot of fun things with the timeline, and that created a lot of tension and suspense, a la Memento, you know?
Yeah. Thank you.
And that, I remember being such a challenging, like, project for you. You kept, like, retooling it and saying, well, what if this happens after here? And, like, you know, rearranging your timeline. And
that's true.
I think about, like, the way that after that project was over, it was like, oh my God, thank God that's over. You know? Oh, that was hard. You know, and then
it was, yeah.
But I think, like, that was a challenge you came up for yourself, and you set for yourself, and it expanded your ability to work with, like, unusual timelines and, like, hold all those different scenes and the way the tension's got to work and the dramatic irony for your reader. You know, these are all things that you've strengthened through that.
Well, then also just thinking of, like, Remy and Alicia and their emotional arc.
Like, oh my God, they had a huge and difficult emotional arc because it had to be so nuanced, you know? Like,
yeah.
The way that we both wrote second chance romances, I put mine out there and then I read yours while you're redoing them, and I was thinking, my God, I wish I'd put, like, half of this amount of level of thinking into the nuance that, you know, of, hey, we used to be together and now we're trying to, like, be normal adults around each other. To the what if we fall for this again, like what if we get hurt again, like the nuances in those little steps and the ground they had to cover.
So I really appreciate you, like, acknowledging the thought and, like, carefulness I'm going on with this, but I also feel the need to defend.
No,
like
no, I'm just saying, like,
all insecure.
Wow. Like, when I was reading your stuff, I went, yeah, I know I didn't put that kind of thought in here.
Well, but, like, I also think that, like, because I don't have any, like, family drama, like, in these stories, right? But, like, that was all very nuanced and important.
Types of story, even though they have this similarity, they don't need to accomplish the same thing. They don't need to have the same tone. They don't need to, like, leave you with the same feelings. Like, I really wanted a kind of silly, goofy, my God, everything's so messy kind of vibe, and everything feels like we're all just throwing things at each other, you know, as a plot. And yours, you obviously weren't going for that vibe. And you got a very different vibe, which, you know, really felt like it was grounded in reality in a way that, you know, also because like it's a contemporary romance. The more you lean into grounding in reality, I think the better story you get, because that's what the genre is like looking for.
That's what I like a lot in contemporary romance.
Right.
And
like it's stuff I wouldn't enjoy in a movie, I think, but like the slower pace, the mundanities are really what I think. See, one of my favorite contemporaries is Well Met, and not Well Met, Well Played, I think, is the sequel to Well Met.
Yes.
I don't enjoy Well Met as much as I enjoy Well Played, and it's because I feel,
which I still haven't read the sequel.
I really love that Stacy is a dentist assistant and she has to wear scrubs, and it's all these fun little details that like make you really picture things that you kind of can hold to a tactile sense. Like, you know, the kind of swishy feeling of scrubs if you've, I don't know, ever seen the nurse walk by and their pants go you know, like you've heard that noise. And being able to ground a story in these details really connects it in a way that doesn't feel all that, like, that maybe it's hard to put a profound, I don't know, meaning on it. Little mundane details really ground things in a way that I think mean more to us than we're really conscious of.
Well, and I think also, like, if you can make the mundanity feel like it's a part of the story, right? Because, like, Remy is wearing scrubs to work, right?
Okay.
But he lost a bet with Nora, and so Nora got to pick his scrubs for a week, and she made him look so silly.
The tie-dye ones. Yes.
Yeah, the tie-dye. And so, like, he's totally on his back foot in that meet cute with Alicia because he looks absolutely ridiculous. Right? And then, you know, it gets to have a callback to what the bet was with his friend. The whole time it's just kind of like picking fun at him in a way that I think is really fun.
Yeah, no, it is. It's I think people really do appreciate these kinds of details, and it's hard to, I think, justify to ourselves, like, when we're writing these books, like spending this much time on this kind of little detail, because it feels like, you know, the going down the elevator and then going into the lobby and then going out and getting a taxi. You know, it's the picking and choose, like, which of these is really gonna ground the story more.
But I do think that's also why it's hard for me to think of, like, what about my book can I meme? Right? Like, what about my book can I create, like, something that would stand out on social media? Right? Because my books are so grounded in reality, it's like, okay, but, like, people love this world. People love these characters. They want to hang out with these folks. But how do I tell people that in a way that is like, I mean, all I can think of is me being like, trust me, please. And give it a shot, right? Like, I don't know how to, because that's one of the great things about the way that you write and the worlds you create is I feel like they're adjacent but different. And so people are like really able to be gripped in with like a great catchphrase, which is another thing that you do well. But I don't know how to do that for my books very well.
I mean, I don't know that you have to.
I mean, like, other than like, I would like to get more readers.
I know you want to get more readers. I think you're, God, the one thing like I know people respond to is enthusiasm. And I think if you can identify what parts about your book, it can be like very little details, even like the scrubs. Like, oh, I love how he's just totally unprepared for and like kind of on his back foot, because not just because he's seeing his ex-wife for the first time in years, but also because he looks ridiculous. And like, who hasn't had that moment? You know, when you get to say that, I think people, especially people who also like find these moments like the ones they want to read about. I don't know. I think if you identify the parts of your story that make you the most excited to talk about it. Because I don't know like what it is gonna take to crack social media. Like, no one's really put their finger on, like, and I don't think you can put your finger on what's gonna go viral. Well, and I think or like what's gonna like resound to people overall.
When I think that like from what we've seen in friends' experiences, in your experience, in my experience, it's not really us talking about our books as much as it is other people talking about our books, right? It's other readers that have people that follow them, that trust what this reader has to say about a book, that means that I will probably like this one too.
See, I don't know if like trust is such a big part of it, because I was thinking about, we were talking the other day about that book, This Is How You Lose the Time War. I have not read it, but I did immediately buy it because someone said something.
I'm like in the middle of it. Mm-hmm.
But like, remember when everyone was like, wow, this is so much like Trigun
Yeah.
or something, and then like they pointed out something about it that they really loved and they were over the moon about it. And I think that sparked a huge wave of people going, well, I like that one thing, might as well be worth buying the book. Which like,
Well, and I remember when it came out, it like had a moment, but then it was like years later that this other person is now speaking about this book and how much they love it, and it's having a second moment, right?
yeah.
It is really cool. I still have to finish it. My attention span has been abysmal.
Oh, no. Listener, we have been having the busiest summers, or busiest years, just like with life shit. And I feel like we say that every single year, like, oh my god, this year's just bowled me over. It's like this, it's really real, this one.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, because it was like, life was definitely happening last year, but like, it was stuff that was like I had to sit with. Where this year, it's like, this is just shit you gotta get done, right? Like,
yeah,
there's just
moved houses.
nothing else.
You gotta like.
I have to get that other house sold. Man. Yeah, I need to get it ready to list, and we're working on it. It's just it's just hard to get everything done.
Oh yeah, no, 100%.
So
like, when we moved into our house, like we painted the downstairs, not even all of it, just like one of the rooms, and like no, 2 of the rooms. We painted 3 rooms total, and like switched out a shower. We didn't even redo the whole like bathroom, but we did. This took us like 2 weeks, 2-3 weeks honestly. And this was like me, Austin, my parents, my sister, a bunch of people, like some of his friends, I think some of his family, like helped us do a bunch of things. And it, it's so much.
Mm-hmm.
Like just
it is. Yeah, it's just school is about to start up in 20 days.
Oh my god! Yeah.
Like, it's just ridiculous. It's okay. Everything's all right. Do we want to talk about what we were going to talk about?
We're 48 minutes in.
So. I know.
Do you want to try to talk about it?
Well, we can talk about it another time. I'm totally fine with that.
All right,
listener,
it's full.
Just so that we're not like edging them.
Oh yeah.
Listener, what we want to talk about is like non-writing resources that we like to use for writing. Yes, non-writing writing resources.
Marty said, "Let's do this," and then I've been thinking on it for like a day, and I have not been able to like. At best, I think I could say watch TV is like one of mine. And I'm like,
I mean, same though.
It's, yeah, I don't know. That's a hard one.
Yeah. And well, because it's like, I don't realize what this is necessarily until I'm like kind of tucking it aside. Does that make sense?
What's your writing advice? Because we covered where you are. Where do you feel like you're going to go, maybe?
Where do I think I'm going to go? I feel like I need you to narrow that thought down. Like as far as writing goes, or as far as like reaching readers, what do you think?
You talked about feeling like you were too comfortable in this short story.
No, it's not even like I feel like I'm too comfortable. It's like I'm just leaving room for all these glowing interactions to also be a sign of something else. Does that make sense? Like
looking
reading
for the bad lining.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Like reading aloud to everybody and having everyone be super excited about the chapters and very minimal like criticism. Is there something in that experience that can still further me as a writer and further my stories for the reader? Does that make sense? Like, is it lean in heavier to the things that everybody's enjoying, or is it like, this is good, everything's good, don't worry, criticisms will come at another time, like there will be another risk taken that doesn't go over well, right? Does that make sense?
Yeah, I think
like I just want to make sure I'm not being complacent.
That, like hey, this one was easy, this one was not, or maybe not easy. Like you have struggled in some parts with this story.
Yeah, the whole beginning did change. But once I got on the right beginning, like it totally set everything really nicely.
Yeah, I feel like lining up a really good beginning, I think, solves a lot of your problems. And I think God, that's why I've been like twisting around on Logan's story so much, is like I kept rewriting the first couple of chapters, and I think I'm finally on like a path where I have the beginning laid out enough that, I don't know, it supports the rest of the story, like it gives a trajectory for the rest of the story that is easy enough to follow. It like triggered another thought that I'm like haranguing myself about. Like I'm ugh.
What do you mean?
The thought is about repetitiveness and repeating, kind of like summarizing what just happened in the last chapter, you know, for the like to remind the reader, hey, this thing is connected to this thing and this is why I'm not doing that, you know, like we can't be together because he was mean to me, kind of like following your heroine's plot like thoughts. And because I'm reading a Beverly Jenkins book, it was the Forbidden, and I'm really enjoying it. It is good. I really love that it's not looking away from any of like the atrocities of this time period.
Yeah.
But it's also not like leaning into the grittiness of the time period. It's it did a little bit.
Trauma.
It's
like,
not trauma
feel
porn,
like she does,
you know? It's
exactly.
I really love that the characters are
purposeful.
finding community and finding you know, the main character, she's, you know, been kind of adrift, and she's, you know, finding roots in this town, and she's, you know, she's gonna get her dream of like having her own restaurant. It's really wonderful. Like I love seeing this for her. It's so cozy. But at the same time, it's like actively talking cozy. About like, yeah, it's weirdly cozy in that.
It is.
Because like it's doing such a good job of taking care of the characters and making, you know, in a time where I am worried about them, because it's like,
yeah,
everything could go so wrong.
Well, because like I read Rebel by her. I believe it's the same series, and it was fantastic. I cried when they got their happily ever after. It meant so much to me that these two people have such a safe place with each other.
I have like
God, it's so good
left in this book, and I literally stopped reading it because I was like, I am kind of scared for like everything is so good. She's got her dream. She's about to marry her man. Like she's like everything is fallen into place for her, and I'm like, I don't know that I could like survive these things being ripped away from her, even like for a second. You know, like I want her to have all of these things. We've been waiting from the beginning of the book for her to like not be dying in the desert.
Ooh.
Which did happen in the beginning of the book. Like it was like that was like the one like really difficult gritty thing that happened, I think. But at the same time, like you've seen her kind of be afraid of a number of people, and then those situations turn out fine, and then she meets this guy that she's kind of like warming up to just talking to strangers in general, and then he's the bad guy, and you're like, of course. But like, okay, so like, summarize the book aside. I want to say like every chapter or so, I feel like Beverly Jenkins kind of reiterates like what happened, where we are, where we're gonna go, where we think like, and I have this moment of like, well, this is something I've been kind of disliking about my own writing. Do I dislike it here, or am I just kind of?
Oh, that's interesting.
You know, like I don't hate it, but I also like, is it just because I pay too much attention to these kinds of details of like how much of it is because like I've had it happen a number of times where like I put a detail in, and then a reader says like, well, the book would have made sense if this had been a detail, and I'm like, so I should have stated that he's like this detail a number of times so that it like got through to you. Maybe you missed it the one time I stated it, and like so it's not, you know, like I feel like some things you need to have them just, you know, put a little spotlight on them for a second to be like, all right, here it is. All right, you remember that?
And remember
the gut on the wall? You know, like just keep looking back at it. But like I don't want to I don't want to harp on something that it feels like I'm leading you. I'm connecting the dots for you too hard.
There was one book I read that was a second chance romance. In the first 5 chapters, they reminded the reader like every other page that's been 10 years since they saw each other, and 10 years ago. And then, like, it got to the point where, like, how long ago was it? Like, it was just, like, it became my own, like, bit that I was like, the only way I can get through this is if I make fun of this. oh, was it 10 years ago? Like, it was the only way I could do it.
Yeah, no, I totally get that. It's like,
yeah, you've gone too far. You need to not reiterate this again.
Right? Like, it's like, is there going to be a quiz?
Yeah, exactly.
But at the same time, it's such a not a narrow path to walk, I feel like, but it's something that you can overdo either way. And you can end up with these results that you don't want, of people being annoyed by it or people totally missing a crucial detail. I don't know. So I'm just kind of like, because I also tend to write out the same thought in my notes app across like several different like notes files. I'll write out the same thought maybe 2 or 3 times in different ways. And then when I'm organizing all of like, all right, this is where this stuff goes in the outline, then I find all 3 of these instances of the same thought, like all in the same spot. And then when I'm like cleaning up the chapter and fleshing it out, it's like, do I need all of these? But I like all of them. So can I keep all of them?
Yeah.
Do I spread these out throughout the book so that it's like, sprinkled, or is like, it's all these little things that you have to keep in mind, I guess.
No, I get that.
I mean, I think this all kind of goes back to putting a lot of pressure on a first draft. First draft's allowed to be bad. This is just telling the story. Then we can clean the story up afterwards.
Gosh, I have such a hard time with that. Because, like, I know. But and I also know that, like, Accidentally Under Your Tree, that got quite a bit of rewriting. And Remy and Alicia are getting huge rewrites. But it's also, like, painstakingly paying attention to the actual sentences. And if I like the way the sentences look and read and, like, stuff like that. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. I mean, I do. I hate to bring it back, but I do think the Dunning-Kruger effect plays here.
Yeah, that's fair. So if I were to give a piece of writing advice right now.
Okay, yes.
Based on my experiences. I would say listen to Kate.
Yes, that's
take her writing advice.
Notes. That's also my advice. Listen to me. That's also do exactly as I say. Do not deviate 1 inch, 1 hair, 1 breath.
Not 1 inch. And if you think there's any ambiguity in what she's saying, you're wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Listen again.
Listen again. Give it like 3 or 4 more listens and tell a friend.
Yeah, download it like 3 more times. Hit the share button like 5 times if you can.
Yeah. Leave a review. That's it. Tell us how much Kate's advice helped you. So my piece of writing advice is probably, because like what I feel like I'm doing right now is taking a good situation and like turning it on its head and being like, but is it good? And so it feels very paranoid, right?
Okay, yeah.
And so I guess the writing advice that I am going to try to take is like, it's okay for this story to have just been fun to write, and it's okay for it to have just been fun to my critique partners. And also, who knows what beta readers will say when I actually get it completed and it's read in its full form.
Oh my god, yeah. I think that's so on point.
I don't know if there's any actual advice in there as much as an observation.
Do you identify with the idea of like perfectionism at all?
Yes and no. Like, part of me is like, I definitely am very comfortable with making mistakes and trial and failure and like stuff like that. And the other part of me is like, yeah, but how long do you sit and think about what word is the right next word to write? You know what I mean? I think I have to have some internalized perfectionism that it has to be there. Like, there's no way around it. I just don't identify it that way because I also tend to be really comfortable with making mistakes, and I tend to be really forgiving of myself and my mistakes. It might take a little while, but I get there.
The other day I saw it on Tumblr that someone posted that perfectionism is a form of shame, and I've really been like gnawing on that one because I was like, the idea that it's a coping mechanism to try to help you avoid being shamed.
That feels really true.
Right? And I think like the idea that you want to, like, of course you want to write a perfect book and you want to write it, like everything needs to be like, but being able to say, well, this is where my skill was when I made this, and I love it for these things, but I can identify these things that I would do differently, is something I found like kind of necessary to move on. Because I told you the other day I was rereading The Orc from the Office because someone had commented on one of my Instagram posts. They said, oh my god, this is one of my favorite books ever, it's such a comfort read for me. And I went, it's been years since I've read any part of this book, and like their enthusiasm made me go, oh, I should revisit it. And then I reread it and I was like, this is bad, I don't like it. I had this moment of like, well, I can't, like, how can I sit here and be like, this is bad? And, at the same time, it's someone else's, like, comfort read, It's like, and I think the simple answer is because I wanted something different out of it.
Oh, that's interesting. That's really interesting.
Yeah, no, I mean, like, God, I'm trying to remember exactly what it was. I was putting a lot of pressure, this, on befriending a person recently, and then I saw something that said, the reason we obsess over people is because they're triggering one of our wounds. And I was like, no. And then like, I sat on it. I was like, you know what? I think I may like want some things from her that she's not giving me. And that's why I'm putting a lot of stress on this relationship, And it's like, how can I find this somewhere else? Because this isn't where our relationship is at.
How does that relate back to work?
Oh, because I wanted something out of it that it didn't. You know what?
Do you feel like at the time you couldn't accomplish what you wanted out of it? Like your skill level wasn't there?
No, like when I wrote Orc, God, so little thought went into it. Like it was truly just I wasn't self-conscious of the work in a way that I'm self-conscious of everything I work on now.
But I think that's also because Orc put such a spotlight on you and your work that wasn't there as you were writing Orc.
True. Well, so what I was thinking about, because I reread Well Met and Well Played recently, I was talking about them before, because these are like some of my like my comfort reads. But I remember being like really kind of annoyed with Well Met this time around and being like, this part, and I'm like wondering like, why am I having such a bad time with something that I've enjoyed so many times before? And I'm like, oh, is it because it's not giving me what I wanted out of it, which is what I got the first time around? Of course, you're not going to get the same thing twice,
Yeah. Well, and also you had me telling you all of my feelings about.
Well, I know
so... what. Listener, there's nothing wrong with Well Met. It just triggers some of my weird anxiety stuff.
Marty does not like public displays of, not even public
romance.
Displays. Yeah, romance of like, and
I don't like that.
Well Met really leans into the, hey, we're gonna make a spectacle out of our love for performance reasons, and
the word spectacle there, I felt a full body chill. I don't like it. Kate, have you given a piece of writing advice?
I think the perfectionism thing, I'm just gonna claim that as mine.
Cool.
I'm gonna.
Do you want to tell them where to find you?
You can find me at kate-pryor.com. It's got all my socials. It's got my newsletter and all my websites. In theory, all of my books. Made It to My Ex. My second chance romance story has an audiobook out now. Give it a listen. Give it 5 stars. Oh no, you don't.
Dude,
you don't have
it.
to. Do it.
Do it.
No,
do it.
But do it.
But do it.
Listen to me, God damn it.
I mean, that's my writing advice.
Yeah, that's Dr. Fraser Crane signing off.
You are our new. Yeah. Oh my god, I love that show.
We've been watching a lot of Frasier.
Speaking of comfort, like, oh my gosh. God. That show is one of my comfort watches. You know what? Speaking of mundanity, like, it's a lot of, like, them just going on about their lives, but it has such a
surprisingly well-developed, like, emotional core. I think especially in the first seasons of, like, and the commitment to Frasier's sensitivity, I think, you know? It definitely, like, it diminishes, I think, over the seasons because, like, you get the new writers on and people who kind of, like, forget, like, what the conceit of the show is. Yeah. You know what? I'm also watching a lot of Columbo. And
I've never watched Columbo since it was like on television.
Oh my god, it is so fantastic. I think it's such a great way to do the murder mystery thing. Like, murder mysteries are such a formulaic genre, which again, no one really complains about that, but like when you have a formula, being able to rearrange the formula is one, or like play with it is often one of those things that can like really refresh and make something feel like new and exciting. The way that I showed an episode of it to one of my friends recently, because it spent a literal 30 minutes showing us the murder in painstaking detail. Like, we know who it is, we know exactly how it was done, but then like every single episode, like the thing that makes the all of it fall apart, for as meticulously planned as it was, is ego every single time. You know, and I fucking love that about it. And I love that, you know, Columbo plays this like bumbling, like he's playing up like how the way people perceive him. He's really leaning into that in order to trip them up.
Yes, I agree. I remember that aspect.
It's just such a you know, because it becomes like a I think every murder mystery usually goes like, we don't know how, like we know who's dead, and now we have to like figure out who had the opportunity and how. That's something like I've honestly never cared for in murder mysteries. It's like, I'm supposed to figure out that you used a bowling pin tied to a string to like close the door with the weight system and the pulleys. And like I'm not gonna, I'm not doing that shit.
I'm not interested in your escape room.
Right? But like,
which I actually really want to do, but Andrew's like, that sounds like a nightmare.
Honestly?
Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. No, there's this story on TikTok from this comedian. He's like, I used to work in an escape room, and every single week Ludacris would come in with a different group of people. And I'd have to pretend like I didn't know him and take a selfie with them and stuff. And Ludacris, you don't know me, and me, I don't think anyone knows you, Ludacris.
God, that's so amazing. Like,
imagine that's the most dad shit ever.
Right? That's amazing.
That's so funny. Anyway, I'm so sorry.
No, you're fine.
Do you want to keep on talking about Columbo?
I don't know what I was on about on Columbo. Oh, it's a good show. If you are in that headspace where you feel like everything is being spoon-fed to you through AI and you're not being like engaged meaningfully, and like, you know, your attention span is just rotted from like watching too many reels. I'm absolutely in this space.
I am definitely leaning more towards my physical book reading right now.
I'm hearing that from a lot of people, honestly.
Yeah, in like a retreat from everything they want me to participate in.
Columbo, because I think that it's such an old show, really, and was made at this point where a lot of like the grammar conventions of editing weren't really fully established, so it's willing to do a couple of weird experimental things every now and then.
Cool.
But it also really, it isn't overwhelmed by this need to tell the story as efficiently as possible. It chews the scenery, it lets every moment breathe, and I think that's so, honestly, right now, that's refreshing.
That's really cool. Should I tell them where to find me?
Yeah, that needs to happen.
You can find me at www.martyv.com.
Do not
shortly here I will have and then by the time this comes out, for sure the reader magnet will be out, and you can get Foul on the Play, and I'm really excited about the cover art that Kate has in her noodle for it. It's so fun. Kate, I got to bring back that line that was, I can do it for you, or I can teach you how. And I got to bring that back in the last chapter I shared that you weren't here for. So there's fun stuff. Fun stuff.
I'm excited.
Yeah. So, listener, get that. You can find me at Marty V Author on TikTok and Instagram. I don't know. You know, can you find me there? I don't know. Just email me. Like, martyv@martyv.com or martyvauthor@gmail.com. It'll find me. And I'll talk to you later.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah. Bye, listener. Bye. Are you doing your thing? Are you being weird?